Alright, so we'll go ahead and call the meeting to order. Alright, minutes from the August meeting. Has everybody been able to read through it? Anybody have any questions? I need to get with Amy on the website. Can I get a motion to approve the, August minutes? Can I get a second?
Second.
All in favor? All opposed? Motion passed. We've got 2 positions to fill. We still have director at large to fill. We also have ACC. John, you're not moving. Juan is getting ready to move. So we would like to try and fill that position before he resigns. Is there anybody at the meeting that would like to fill ACC? Mr. Lex? You interested in that? No?
You keep asking. You keep asking.
Okay. Well, if anybody on the board, if y'all can spread the word, Juan's got a lot on his plate, so I know if he could get somebody to take over that position sooner the better. So we'll try and get something up on the Facebook page. It's already on the website. See if we can't get that filled. Okay, financial report.
Sarah, do you want me to do what we talked about the correction?
Let her do the report and then have you do it. I need to take this.
CD number 1 is 40,000. Maintenance account is 68,322.69. Prepaid account is 12,480.22. Money market is 12,191.39. Petty cash is 380.58 with a total of 133,374.88.
Remember, return assets that are untouchable. Just a reminder.
Can we get a motion to approve the financial report?
Motion to approve.
Second.
A question on it real quick.
Oh, I'm sorry, we're gonna hold on, she's going to
Okay.
I got it myself.
Okay. Wendy, when Nora was just reading off, what I show on this page that y'all have, which is the spreadsheet, is actually minus any accounts receivable that we have. So the total of 124,5187 is actually what is considered everything that we have. Because we do have we have 42 past due accounts that I'm currently trying to collect on. Last time, there was questions regarding the spreadsheet that we pass out. In the past, it's always been added in for those accounts that she reads off. I was under the impression we were going to do just what was actually in the checking account. So that's why there's a difference. If you look at the one today, that one is accurate and is all the totals that match up to the penny to everything that we have. So this is exactly this 124,5187 is what we have. But please remember, those accounts that she just, as David just said, that she just read off, is your prepaid account, your money market CD, which, those we don't touch. That's all I have to say.
Okay, so that 91,000 at the top is the beginning of the year balance, not the 9/14/2020.
The 914 is the beginning, well, it's the ending
The
balance.
91,513.38 is January 1.
Yes.
Okay.
Because if you see in the column 2019, it matches, it's flowing over.
Right.
And so, but that's not what was in the checking account that we had to work with on our operating. What we had on our operating was like, we started with, 47,127.44.
So have we not been billed for very many of the professional fees? Because as much as she's, I mean, I can't imagine that all this has been done for $1,200.
The professional fees down here at legal, that is up to date, the $1,237.50. Now, they bill us once a month, so anything that she's taught to them since after September 1st, we won't get until October. But the majority of that was the amendments that we did the ballot to go out at the first time.
Yeah.
And so that was that, and then some other times that she's had to contact them.
The attorney that we're using, Jason Bowell, whenever he was hired on, a year ago, I think, the agreement that was made was that any phone calls that we had to him, he would not bill us for it. So we do a lot of stuff over phone calls, so that we don't get billed for it. And then whenever we need something documented, then it's done via email. And he doesn't charge us, he only charges us a small amount for whenever he takes his time to do emails. So that's, we keep the cost down a lot by trying to keep the stuff from going through email. If it's just, hey, I need to know how to proceed on this, or hey, what do you suggest of handling on this? Stuff like that, nothing that needs to be documented, just guidance on different, and it's different, not just the ballots, anything for ballots, that was all done through email, so that it was all documented. But there's different things, hey, we got this deed restriction issue, how do you suggest we handle it? Or we've got this ACC issue, how would you suggest we handle it? A lot of that's done over phone, and it keeps us from getting billed. So,
Is he gonna be here tonight?
no. And we're gonna talk about that in a minute.
Okay. Also, not that it matters, but I got an email because I was still on the list from the attorney, the HOA attorneys we use, that we're taking us off the list since we haven't used them so long. It was sent to me.
I'm sorry, say that again?
Okay, we had a HOA attorney that we had used years ago, and I got an email from them that says, because I was the contact, we are reaching out because of recent evaluations revealed the association has not asked our firm to provide routine legal services in the past year. There are no pending requests, blah, blah, blah. It's been a pleasure serving you. Feel free to contact us should you have any questions.
Okay, I did not understand that. I'm sorry.
Okay, this is an attorney that we used years ago.
Okay,
They're just sent a letter to me because I was the contact years ago that they're removing us from their list, but if we ever need them again, feel free to give them a call.
will you forward that to the Lake Shadow Civic so that we still have their contact information?
Yeah, it's at Roberts, Markel, Weinberg, Butler, Haley, HOA attorney here in Houston.
Okay, I think we have, I think there's some the letters from them in the book, but will you, since y'all did emails through personal emails and not Lake Shadows, can you email it over to the Lake Shadows email so that we have it on the Lake Shadows email?
Yep.
Thank you, ma'am.
What is actual cash balance that we have that's usable? Which of those?
The maintenance account, which is $68,322.69.
Okay, that's the one that's usable.
Yes, that's what we do all of our operating expenses out of.
Right. Okay.
So did y'all meet and discuss if there's any reason not to put those? So this ending balance, you said, current ending balance of $120,451.87 as of September 14th? Okay, you're saying that's not all the accounts? It doesn't have prepaid?
No, that has prepaid, that has every account. When she read it off, she read off the total as, because all of our Compass, our CD1 maintenance account, prepaid, money market, and petty cash equals to $133 and $374.88. But what we go by is actually the ending after it takes out the accounts receivable. So our accounts receivable is deducted off of that. So the 124.51.87 is what is on this sheet. That's what is used.
But I mean, your accounts receivable shouldn't be included in your cash.
I'm sorry, what?
She said that the difference between the 130 something that she said and the 120 was our accounts receivable, but accounts receivable shouldn't be included in your cash balances. Because the financial report said, how much was the total?
120?
Are you talking about what I read?
Yeah, what was the total of everything you read?
133, 374, 88.
Yeah, see, it says 133, and she's got down here 120. She said that subtracts out the accounts receivables, but that doesn't.
That's, when in the system, it has our, any past due. And also how the system does it is because we have to put a credit in.
Oh,
for
it's what-
prepaid.
It's what we haven't received and the prepaid credits.
Right, that's what this is.
That's what the accounts receivable is.
And this is in the little.
Yeah, but that shouldn't come out on your balance sheet as, out of your balance. Your balance should
Well,
be
no,
what's.
we don't have it. It's not tangible money.
So
I know,
if
but when you
let me-
print-
just one second, if you add, our accounts receivable is $12,923.01. Add that to the 124.5187, you get the 133,374.88. And when I looked back, even back when you were on the board, how they did it is they added all the totals in on this spreadsheet.
So
So that it balanced to the QuickBooks, what the QuickBooks has.
So what, is what you're telling us with that negative, I'm trying to understand negative accounts receivable, because I've never seen that on a.
Yeah,
on
this
a
is how it was
sheet
set up.
before.
Right.
So, okay, I mean, just having been
Yeah.
accounting, I've never seen negative accounts receivable. So what are the
These
negative,
are-
where are those negative accounts receivables reflected up here?
Well,
What are they
this
being
is a
subtracted
combination of
from?
42 past
I
due
understand what
accounts.
they are.
So that would come out of the maintenance, which is this way. And then it offsets with what the prepaid is, because it is a credit onto their account, so that every year we go in there and deduct it off of what they're, so we have a running total. That's how it was set up, and that's just,
So the accounts receivable are those accounts that that have been filled, but we have not gotten payment in on that. So you can't add that into the total because it's not tangible money.
No, but usually your
So-
ending balance
well, hold
is your
on, hold
cash
on.
accounts.
So, well, but what we did is after the last meeting, because there was so much confusion, we went back to the way that y'all had it set up. And this is exactly how y'all had it set up.
I know, but I told you, we never looked at those balances as the actual balances on the account. We were looking at income and expenses.
Well, but I think part of the confusion is that at the last meeting, the numbers were off.
Right, and
And
that's
so
why,
what we did is we went back to the way that y'all had it.
well, I had said at the last meeting, I said, it is not correct, it has not been correct.
Well,
So
but what's
now-
not correct is our assets. We can't add in assets for the neighborhood. We cannot add in the asset like what the pavilion is, the pool, the park.
Right, but that's not what, like I said, if you're using this as like I said, as a glorified checking account, I mean, right now, you can take your beginning balance of 91, add the 67 plus, subtract the 38, and you get the 120,
Correct.
all right?
and that's exactly what QuickBooks has.
I know, but if you're talking, people want to know, like, how much money do we have? A prepaid should be an account, and you should have a liability for it, because, it's set up as a liability because we owe it to them in the future. They've kind of paid it in advance, so it's a liability to us.
Well, yes, but people want to see what we have to spend. And prepaid accounts,
No.
we can't touch. That's what we got from the last meeting.
No, the last meeting, they said, we want to know the total. And y'all have reported we had 60, and why does one place say 60 and one says 120?
Because that was the total of the cash account that
and
we can touch. That's what.
But
we
I
have
thought
to
the
go
point
on.
that they were making is we want to know
He-
what this organization has. And y'all said, we don't know why we can't split it out, why her report can't be, so why on the ending balance couldn't you say how much is in each account?
The ending balance.
I think what they want, Darla, again,
Oh my God.
what they want is this sheet here to be your checking account. Beginning
is.
balance.
It is. This is the checking account.
This is,
The
this
total
is the,
amount?
this is not the checking account because we can't touch.
The CDs and the
But
money
that's how I
market.
had it last
So
month.
take out those amounts completely from there so that our beginning balance on 2020, right here, this beginning balance is 9151.
But that's,
3.38 less. I'm hearing you, so I'm trying to tell.
yeah, I mean,
I'm
that
trying to
would-
tell
yeah.
them. Okay, so they want that number less your CD number one, your SB, CSB prepaid, your money market, those numbers, because we can't touch those at all.
Okay, so I'm gonna stop you right there. These are the minutes from last month. That's exactly what's on here. What you just said. That's exactly what's on here.
Numbers didn't balance out.
But that's why, because if you go to 2018, that column was whenever before this bookkeeper was on the board, that's how y'all recorded this. Whenever we started pulling them out.
At our last executive meeting, we decided we would go to 2019 and 2020 only in our reporting. And we voted on that and agreed to that, and they remember, because he's nodding his head.
Well, we
And
just-
we're going to do actual numbers, and these other numbers, the CD and the CBS and all of those, y'all talked about putting them on the side for people to see, and we said, no, let's not do that, let's just simply read them out, so that what we have is your checking account. What they want to see is
Oh, I
what your checking,
understand.
so that your final balance here, you told me we have how much that we can spend. You told me exactly how much we had that we can spend.
$68,322.69.
Okay, it's that number there, they want that to be your number right here where it says ending balance.
Okay.
They want that there.
So that's how it was last month. And at our meeting that we had, we did decide to take out the 2018 and only show 2019 and 2020. However, because of the question Mr. Taylor brought up, is this ending balance in 2018, because he went all the way back to 2018, wasn't matching with what we had up here. So in order to get it to all match, to show that we have not done anything with any kind of money, I went in and did how they've done it since prior to I taking over, which was 2018
At the end of
passed.
it.
Because I went back to, these go back to like 2015, 2014, something like that. And I went back through every single one of them, and they all match, showing this is what we have. Now, moving forward, by all means, we can change it. I don't understand why somebody can't just take when she's reading off the numbers, and you can figure that out, but whatever it is. I just know that last month it wasn't right, and that's the way that it sounds like y'all want it this month.
But the problem is people are going to not understand your balance sheet. They're going to look at this sheet here.
Right.
And they're going to say, we have $120,000
Yeah, they're gonna say
we
that.
can spend.
And we don't.
And we don't. That's why we were going to do actual numbers.
Right.
Beginning balance actual January 1st for 2019 and 2020. You would have the balance here, your actual balance, because you know what it was, December 31st, 2019. That's your balance that goes up here.
Right.
And then all your numbers are there, all the rest of, so that there's not a confusion. So when this young lady looks, she goes, oh, okay, so actually what we have is $68,322.
But that's not how Mr. Taylor and everybody else that was here last week, or last month.
So this is what, so at the meeting last month, there were a lot of questions raised, and we had a meeting about the balance sheet, okay? We did come to that agreement, but it was also stated at the meeting that because there were such big questions by Mr. Taylor, because of the difference at the bottom of 2018 and the top of 2019, he wanted an explanation. I tried to get in touch with him to give him that explanation. He requested that explanation be given at the meeting. He did not want to meet with me to get that explanation. And he's not here. but we still have, we still have to give it to them. So, the budget from last meeting, the top numbers at the top is what y'all are asking for now. But at the last meeting, y'all were asking for something different. So it doesn't matter which way we do it at this point, because no matter which way we do it, there's gonna be questions, which is fine. That's okay.
Well, like I said,
But
I mean,
let me finish, Miss Sanders, let me finish. So, over the last, since 2015, every bookkeeper has done it a little bit different, depending on how the board wants to get the information to the neighborhood, is what it comes down to, okay? All the financials that are read off comes off the balance sheet. The reason we don't give the balance sheet is because unless you work with QuickBooks, it is very hard to understand. I work with QuickBooks every day, and it's a hard sheet to understand. So we read out the balances for every account that we have. That includes the money market, the CD, and it includes the prepaid accounts. The prepaid accounts we cannot touch, period. We cannot touch that except for January 1st of every year to pull those handful of properties out that prepaid their mortgages for 30 years. But we can't touch the rest of that money for any reason. This whole neighborhood gets wiped out by a tornado, we cannot use that money, okay? So the way that it was done for the last year on the budget sheets is the numbers that were at the top were only the numbers that we could use fluid cash. That's it. Did not include the money market, the CD, or the petty cash, not petty cash, the prepaid accounts. But the numbers didn't match on this sheet because we included 2018. And we weren't, 2018, they were including all the money. We pulled it out because people wanted to see that bottom line. How much does this neighborhood have to spend? So the executive meeting that
well,
we had.
technically, we can spend all of it, except the prepaid. It's how much do you want to spend?
Correct. You're right.
Yeah.
You are right. We could spend the CDs in the money markets and empty out the neighborhood. Absolutely. But the sheet that's given today, that includes CD and money market. Does not include the prepaid accounts. Does not include, it does include prepaid accounts?
Yes, because that's how it,
But that's what
To
I
match the
that's-
numbers.
to match the numbers, you have to include those.
But you can't include the receivables because that's not money, that's not fluid money that we have. That's invoices that have been sent out that have never been paid.
I know, but I don't know why it's putting your account receivables into your bank balances. That does not make sense to me. I mean, it doesn't matter to
It
me
separates
whether you put the whole
Yeah.
total.
It separates it out on our end. On this sheet that we have, see, hence why we don't give this to the public.
Right, well, if
Because
you
it's-
run that as cash or accrual,
It's all supposed to be cash.
but on your
whoever said this,
report,
I
do
don't
you
know.
check off cash? Because normally if you
Yes.
check cash, it doesn't include your accounts receivable because
It
they're
says
not
cash
accounted
basis at
for
the
until
top.
you collect them. I mean, I don't care if, I think the point he was trying to make was that, you know, you have this, either you can use just the checking account and put an asterisk down there that says this does not include balances for the CD, you know, blah, blah, blah. Or you can put the whole thing and at the bottom put a notation that says this includes funds that,
So we'll do that, and the next month, let me know what y'all gonna have, because it's gonna be something else, because.
No, it's not
no,
gonna
it's not
change.
gonna be, I mean, like I said, I think it's just, and to me, it just makes it weird that you're talking about an ending balance, which when I see an ending balance of 120, I'm thinking that's everything in the name of the association, and then she reads a different number. I think
And
it needs,
the only thing is, she read the total of all of those, and what normally is given is the second number, which is, it's taking out the accounts receivable. Because we don't, that's not something we've received yet. That's the way this is set up to do. This has been set up since 2002 on the QuickBooks.
yeah, but QuickBooks should not.
I don't know
take your-
why the last board didn't fix it, because it's within the same thing, so I
Well,
don't
because like I
know.
said, we didn't, look. All we looked at was income and expenses. And then we looked at the financial report for what the balances were in the accounts. So, I mean, I don't think it matters.
Well, it does if it's being brought up for two 2 meetings in a
No,
row.
that's what I
And
said.
we're trying to be as transparent as possible, so we're going back to 2018, whenever that board decided not to have all this in there. And now we're letting everybody know, because there was a question. We're gonna let everybody know, here's what it is. The reason we don't put it in this sheet that everybody gets is because it gets very confusing on what money this board builds a budget off of. And we don't include CD, money market, prepaid accounts to build a
I mean,
budget
I
for this
agree, it gets
neighborhood.
confused because people don't listen or understand.
They don't come to the meeting, they don't listen to the
Right.
videos, they come to one meeting and they don't like what they see.
So if y'all decide to do, I have no problem with just being the checking account. If you just wanted the,
That's what it was last month.
That's what it was last month, but there
yeah,
was an
but he
issue with
was
it.
wondering about the huge difference and that.
So,
that's
so
why
we
I
did that
switched.
today and it's an issue.
That's what I was explaining to him last month, and he didn't understand or didn't want to listen, because I was showing what was actually that we use.
Right. So I think it would help if at the bottom, you know, you put just the checking account balance and at the bottom, but this does not include funds.
I will absolutely, and I'm not trying
I
to.
mean, I'm not trying to
be
make, I'm not
sarcastic,
trying to make the decision for everybody, but I'm just
But
saying.
you are, because it's being brought to attention, and we did what you're wanting today was done last month, but what Mr. Taylor wanted last month is being done today.
I know, but I'm
So
not,
either I have one that shows everything to appease people
One
like
person.
that, or have one that shows actually what we're using.
no, but I'm not questioning the 91, the 67. My question was, why does the ending balance not match what her balance was? The rest of this is fine to me.
Because it does not
I know it says it doesn't
Well,
show accounts.
but so there's the explanation. We need to make sure that that explanation's there.
Yes.
So whenever people watch the video, because I know it's hard to hear what the audience is saying, but it's very clear what we're saying. So that ending balance that you're talking about, we're making that very clear. That includes receivables, invoices that have been sent out that have not been paid. So
I
you
know, but-
cannot add that in.
A balance should be all the balance in your account. I don't care if you have $1 million billed out. You don't say that my beginning balance is $1 million, because you don't have that money. I mean, I'm not saying it's anything anybody's done wrong, but obviously there's something in QuickBooks. It should not be subtracting your accounts receivable from your total cash balance. Now, if you told me it was subtracting the prepaids because it was handling, I could understand that better than it's subtracting out your account receivables. I mean, I'm not questioning the rest of it. Last time the question was it didn't balance, and then the beginning from one year didn't
And now
match
it
the
does.
end, and now it does. I'm not questioning any of
So
that.
now we
My
gotta go
only
back to how we
question-
had it last month.
My
Where it
only
doesn't make
question
sense.
is, it seems to me like the ending balance ought to match, if you're gonna use the total cash in the accounts as the beginning, and the total cash is the ending, because they balance, why is QuickBooks subtracting out accounts receivable from the cash? Like I said, I could understand if somehow it was set up for prepaids, because that's not really money that we own.
But the accounts receivable, we don't have that money yet, because.
I know, so it's not recorded as, you can't include it as income.
Okay, but whenever this was set up, the way you have to set up the way the prepaids were set up is there's a credit on the account. So at the end of the year, I have to write a check out of the prepaid and then take it off to keep a running total. Because in order for QuickBooks to track their totals, so every year I can say, this is what you have left in your totals. It shows that in that. That's probably part of that.
So you're saying it's already showing up in
Because-
maintenance fee income for all
What-
these years?
No, what I'm saying is it's showing that our accounts receivables is this much minus the credits that are on the books for the prepaid, and that 12,923.01 is the difference from what she read off to what's on that thing. And that sum is that. That's the way the QuickBooks was set up. Unless I go back and reinvent the wheel, then I don't know how to fix that. Because we have to have a running total for these people that have a prepaid account.
Right.
So that's the only way that QuickBooks allows you to do it, is have a credit on their account.
Well, I think that needs to probably be, it can probably be changed. I mean, I do QuickBooks accounting all the time.
But once again, it was like that when you were in there, and it wasn't changed, so I don't
Right, because like I said.
Why
we
wasn't
didn't-
it changed whenever you were on the board and you did accounting all the time?
Because we just we use this as income and expenses. Our beginning balance and ending balance were kept like as a financial. Here was what the beginning, here was the checking, this is how much we spent, this is our new
Was
balance.
the total, this total on 2018,
18.
137, I can't read it.
137, 853, 51. That was that was y'all's.
That was
Right.
the total.
And that had
of
everything in it.
prepaid, that was the total of your CD, that was the total of your money market, that was the total of petty cash and your cash account. So everything that we read off is what y'all did.
So what?
Right, but I'm saying that that beginning balance, I don't know that, because I
Can we
didn't do.
table this?
I went
Yeah.
back,
Taking too long.
Can we,
All the way
can we
to
table this
27.
so that,
Yeah,
we have a discussion in a small group about
We've
balance
gone
sheet?
over the 2 minutes already,
I'm good with it.
many times over.
Uh,
All right.
Move the table?
This, is this one? Okay. No, this one. Oh, this is yours. Okay.
I'm not tired of this.
Okay, we had John motion to approve the minutes, Jimmy seconded it. Approved it, Jimmy seconded it.
Okay, all in favor? All opposed? Okay, ACC. Juan's not here. I know he had a bunch of ACCs, I don't know what, I don't know what to do with that.
Does ACC approve culverts?
No. Okay, that's the county. Okay. Yes,
Warren
sir.
was absent.
Yes, sir.
ACC report, Warren's absent.
Yes, sir. Deed restriction committee, Ms. Kelly?
Yeah, so we had 29 items on our report for the past month, and of those, we had 10 violation letters that were sent out.
Can I get a motion to approve the restriction report? Can I get a second? All in favor? All opposed? Motion passed. Maintenance report? I'll send it. You've been out of town.
I'm out of town for a little bit this week.
Okay.
I go to the morning.
Okay. Can I get a motion to approve the maintenance report? Oh, there's not a report, sorry. Okay, ballots for amending deed restrictions. Okay, no, the attorneys are not here. As y'all know, none of us up here are attorneys. And if you are an attorney, it doesn't matter because the property code is very, very hard to understand. We had a executive meeting, kind of a very urgent executive meeting. I read the property code, and from how I understood it, it was we could extend the ballots for 20 days past the due date. So I figured that we were legal to go 20 days past September 1st. I sent an email to the attorney, hoping to get a response by September 1st. I did make a post on Facebook that we were gonna extend the ballots. The attorney got back in touch with me Monday, Tuesday morning, and let me know, no.
That's
Mr.
Tuesday the 2nd, by the way.
Yes, sir. Mr. Lentz was correct. The due date was September 1st on the ballot, so we couldn't extend it. So I pulled the post down, said, okay. Contacted Darla immediately and said, did you check the box at the park? She said, I checked it yesterday, which was September 1st. I said, okay, have we gotten anything through the mail? She was checking the mail that morning, and I said, okay, check the postage. If it's postmarked September 1st, you can count it. If it's postmarked afterwards, it's late.
Because I didn't turn mine in because I thought we had longer.
Well,
so did I,
I know-
because of that post.
and that's, again, that's on a weekend. And as soon as we had our executive meeting, I contacted our attorney, and that was a Saturday. And I was trying to get an answer, and I didn't get an answer until September 2nd. So either way, we didn't get nearly the amounts. We needed 9.3 million square foot of voting. We got a total Darla, do you remember the total we had? I know you.
I did look it up real quick.
I think we ended up only getting 3-point-something million square feet total. That was yes and no's. And
So
we,
it was 67% of the total square footage
135.
and not 67% of the votes cast.
yeah, we originally said that. It is 67% of square foot between 1 and 5. That has always been said. So the miscommunication of it's the 67% of total voted that come in. I never said that. It was square footage of sections 1 through 5. 6 didn't count because the amendment did not affect section 6. So what the confusion was it 67% of sections 1 through 3, 67% section of 4, and 67% of section 5. And we verified that at the meeting. And it was 67% of sections 1 through 5. Because all the sections are linked together between 1 through 5 in the deed restrictions. So out of 9.3 million square footage, we would have to have 6.7 million square feet to go yes or no. We only got 3 million square feet. We were not going to get it by September 28th because everybody wanted to come to this meeting and we had every intentions of having the current attorney here and an HOA attorney because that's what everybody wanted. So I started shopping around, started having conference calls with HOA certified attorneys. But whenever we found out, I mean, and nobody came,
Yeah.
you know, but again, if we get 20 people that come to a meeting that want something, we're going to give it to you. I know it's not 500 and 700 and something property owners that show up, but what shows up at the meeting is what we're gonna deal with. But we didn't get those votes.
I did ask my neighbors if they were gonna come, and they said, why? You're gonna do what you wanna do.
Well, we don't.
So,
I mean, we
that's what
don't.
they said. Because we were talking about the votes, I said, the attorney's supposed to be here, and they're gonna talk about the votes, and she goes, they already made their decision what they're gonna do.
But,
Well,
See, that's not
but
true.
we
That's not
don't.
true, is
And
it?
that's how they vote.
But that's how they,
proceed.
so, but here's part of the problem, is that whenever people don't come to the meetings, and we appreciate whenever Mr. Lynch videos it, but nobody watches the videos anymore. So, but I mean, but a lot of people don't, and they need to go back and watch it.
You got about 4 or 5.
Which, I mean, it's great to get 4 or 5, it's better than nothing.
Yeah.
But the problem is that whatever has been done in the past, the neighborhood needs to realize this board flips constantly. So what's been done at a different board, people need to get that mindset that the board changes. You get new board members, things change. So if one board did something you didn't like, doesn't mean the next board's gonna do the same thing. It's just, that's how it's done. And we are all people that live in this neighborhood. It's not ran by management. So back to that, it didn't pass. No. We didn't get it, we didn't go, and it's not that it passed with a no, we just didn't get enough votes.
Right, it's just baseline.
Well, I think that's always been the problem, is that we've never gotten the votes. People just don't do that.
Yeah.
You know,
So going forward,
that's how we always had that problem.
we're going to meet with an HOA certified attorney. So we will have our regular attorney, Mr. Fowle, and he's getting us, he's an HOA attorney, he's just not certified. Because he doesn't pay that yearly membership fee to be on that list. But we have him, and we've got now 3 HOA certified attorneys. I've only talked to one. And I need to get the board their numbers, but I'm not gonna choose this attorney. So it's gonna take a while for the board to pick an HOA certified attorney because I'm not making that decision. So there's now 8 board members that need to make that choice.
The
But
one that I told you about was real good about talking to me and not charging also. They're an HOA, the one I just forwarded to the Civic League.
Okay.
So,
Actually, we did get a thing on them, and I have it, and they do charge for phone calls.
well, they didn't charge me for, yeah.
I can only go off of their fee schedule, and I have their fee schedule.
Right.
That one and another one, and they both charge for phone calls. But that's not gonna be what we base our decision off of, you know, but it's gonna be, the board's gonna have to decide, but we will get an HOA certified attorney. Now granted, that's gonna cost us money, but what's what we're gonna do? There are options, we can do this again. We did find out, I spoke to one HOA attorney just kind of talked to her, let her know what was going on. Her name's Sarah, I can't remember her last name. But she and Jason Fowle and another attorney that I went to, I contacted one of the property owners that took me to his attorney. I contacted that attorney also. The 10-year period that's written in the deed restriction is correct. I think Mr. Litz, Miss Nash, not Nash, Letha, and another previous board member have mentioned this. That 10 years is to terminate the HOA, which means the HOA can post 5 years prior that we're doing away with an HOA, there will no longer be deed restrictions, and everything just exits. The amendments can be done anytime, every year. So y'all are correct. But again, I'm not gonna buck you on it until I get an answer. And I'm gonna go, like y'all did, to different attorneys, but I'm gonna take, if this one says no, then it's a no. If this one says yes, okay, then I'm gonna find another one. So that I have 3 or 4 decisions. We're gonna find another attorney, HOA certified attorney, and we're gonna sit down with them and say, okay, where do we go next? This neighborhood is not going to live off of what we have. We've gotta do repairs and improvements. So what do we do next? I'm gonna get with Miss Lucas. She is a lot more smarter than I am whenever it comes to websites. Maybe she can dig through our website, see if there's a way that we can do voting over website. But it has to be a certain signature, because it is a legal document. So you can't just go in and check yes or no, because it is a legal document. Maybe that's something that she can figure out, but that's an option. Again, there is the option to go to a judge and have the judge overrule and change the deed restrictions. That is the last thing we want to do, but we've got to look at the shape of our amenities. But that's not going to be done like this. That's going to take some time. We're going to spread this out. We're not going to do it quick.
So it's our 10 years, because I knew that 10-year thing in there. So this is the end of our 10 years. So we can go and do the new vote.
No, the 10 years is to say, we don't want to be an HOA community anymore. We don't want to have deed restrictions anymore. We don't want to have a board anymore. We want to disassemble our HOA.
The 10 years was to terminate the total HOA deed restrictions.
Yeah.
It doesn't give anything. It
You
just
can
says
amend
as
it
needed.
every year. And that's in the state. You can amend those deed restrictions every year. Our deed restrictions just written to cancel it. Now that being said, the increase that was done 2 years ago was done illegally, because to amend, you still have to get a vote of the property owners.
Right.
A board cannot choose to amend anything.
Right.
And that was verified by multiple board members that did increase it, and then they went on Facebook and verified that, yeah, you're right, you do have to have a vote of the neighborhood to amend. So, and amending is raising the dues. So we will try this again, but again, it's not gonna be anytime soon. I'm not gonna rush this. We're gonna work with what we have, just like the boards in the last 15 years have done. And see if we can get another way to do this instead of paper ballots. I don't know, but we're gonna try it again. The only thing that I ask, especially those that come to the meeting, when you talk to people in the neighborhood, urge them to watch the video, because I found out that there were a lot of property owners that were talking to property owners and giving out a lot of misinformation. Like we were trying to raise dues every month. We don't charge dues every month.
It's just frustrating, because I can look people in the eye and say, we need to raise these. It's 4%, they can't go any higher, they can go down, but they can't go above this. And then they would walk away and go, I'm not having to raise mine for every year.
$400.
And I'm like, I didn't say that.
Yeah, so, you know, it is those things, and I found, you know, talking to a lot of people, and some people contacted me and said, well, I voted no because I was told you were raising it $50 a month. And I said, we don't charge monthly maintenance fees. And then I was also told that they were told that we were actually sneaking in, special assessments. You can't sneak that in. It has to be
Never
written.
said the word special
Special
assessment
assessment
in any meeting at
in
any
it.
time.
But that's what I'm saying though, is, like I said, I can't express that I do appreciate Mr. Lentz videoing these, you know, and go back and watch them. It is what it is. So going back, it did not pass. We only got 3-point-something million square feet. But we will evaluate, we'll take a couple of months, talk to a couple of different HOA attorneys, see what they, one's already suggested don't raise it to 8 mils. They said raise it to 6.
So I was gonna say, maybe,
So, and-
yeah.
So there's a
The
compromise.
other part was, I think this was a terrible time to go and raise it.
Well,
And
and
so many people that have been out of work for so long.
And the only reason.
That wasn't going on when we.
Yeah.
when
That's
we-
the thing, whenever it started, because we
Yeah.
started this talk last year.
Yeah.
So, you know, it was a bad time, but it had already been in the works, so keep going. And it didn't cost us much money. I mean, y'all see what we got charged almost a year in legal fees. We didn't have to pay in postage because we hand delivered them. The paper and the ink is minimal compared to taking it to Office Depot and having it printed out and mailed. So we did this to try to benefit the neighborhood, not us in any way. But we also tried to do it by saving the neighborhood a little bit of money while we did it. So,
Everybody I talk to, it's changed. They don't want change at all.
Yeah.
That's the whole thing. They don't care what it is.
yeah.
Don't change what we got. You can't tell them nothing.
Well, and I mean, and I can understand that, you know, it's hard to accept change, but
Can I ask them a question?
absolutely.
Okay, we're sitting on the board. I know there's only 5 people who are here this evening that are not on the board. I'm just curious, just one of the questions. Do you really think, no matter what we do, and I hate to ask this question, that we are going to find an effective way, whether we do it by mail, by internet, by signage, by door to door? Do you think, you know your neighbors, I know, that we're going to be able to get 6.7 million square feet of the 9.3 million by simply doing votes?
It's not gonna happen.
I think you will.
I
No.
think if you go door to door,
I think you can.
I think you can.
Okay,
I think it can be done.
okay,
So,
how?
I think it can be done electronically. The only problem is that you have to, like she started to mention, that you have to get that contact information. That's the key. So if you, when you send in your renewals, you can ask for that contact information, that electronic contact information, and then you can send it to their email, a link to vote, and you'd have quite a few respondents, I think, out of that.
I think so too.
It's,
No, I talked to a lot of people and it's changed. They're not gonna.
Okay,
There's-
I'm with you,
Yeah.
but I like your idea, that's what I wanted to hear. An idea
Yeah.
from, because I know you're here, y'all are here, but I sense that you might have a suggestion, that's why I put it out there. So your suggestion is to, when we do our next maintenance fee billing, secure an email address from as many as we can, and then work from it from that angle. So we would do paper ballots and try to do electronic ballots? Is that your suggestion?
I know some people don't do electronic stuff, so
But some don't do paper stuff either anymore.
most
Okay,
of
all
my
right, well, I think that's a great idea. I appreciate.
Did you get very many responses when you put on Facebook, we need email addresses?
I got 35.
35!
Stop.
See, I don't do
Wait,
Facebook,
wait,
so-
stop. I need to talk about this one here because I'm just on that Lake Shadows community thing. That's the only Facebook thing I have. And I am sorry, but the only thing I ever see at the very top is for sale. It's free. I saw this notice like way down on the list. And even today, my friend just posted, says, oh, this came out 2 hours ago. And it's way down on the list because it's something for sale. This is here, this is here, this is here. There's gotta be something else. That's
Well,
out of control.
so-
You
Wait,
can
hold on,
restrict
hold
So
on.
it.
I never saw your thing about, I'm sorry.
I did it twice.
I never saw it.
Yeah.
Okay, so let me address just another one thing. So there is a Lake Shadow Civic League Facebook page. I've stopped posting on that because I think I set that up wrong. I set it up. So Miss Lucas back there, I'm gonna get with her and we're gonna try to set up a Lake Shadow Civic League page, and we set it up the right way. And it's an information only page.
That's it.
So, but I think I set it up as a personal page because I don't do Facebook. I'll post pictures. So I'm gonna get with her and have her look at what we have and then set up a Lake Shadow Civic League page so where if you like it or join it, however she sets it up, you can get notifications or however, but it won't be linked to the other Facebook pages. And it'll be whatever, like meeting or Halloween party at the park or whatever it is.
But it's been on the sign for 2 weeks, and I mean, it's the only way in and out of this neighborhood. People
Yeah,
just,
but nobody looks
They don't
inside
look
it.
I know, but that's just, it's like you said, not everybody has Facebook, but everybody drives past that
Yeah,
sign.
but they're going too
But
fast to read the thing.
Right, that's true.
And the other thing is, my email address is a gazillion letters long.
Yeah,
You miss one letter, it doesn't come to me. And I can't tell you how many times, even from people on the outside trying to get HOA information, they send me what they sent, and they leave one letter out, and of course
I would
it
see
won't
you
cover.
say, make sure everyone
Yes.
is correct. I think, from his question, I think it's gonna take a lot of dedicated people, and you're gonna have to do some door-to-door. I mean.
We can't,
You can't door-to-door?
it's illegal.
Yeah.
But you can
It's- it's-
maybe make a call and check the email address and,
So-
follow up a little bit.
We checked on
You
that
can.
because we had a group of property owners that asked to go door to door. Okay? What we cannot give out is a list of who has not voted. Not who has. We can't even give out a list of who has not. So whenever we told that group that, they said, well, that means we have to go every single door, even people that have already voted. I said, correct. You cannot give out a list of who has or
You
who
don't-
has not.
You don't call them to make sure they vote. You
Yeah.
call them to make sure you have their information.
Well,
And if they
that's,
have any questions.
yeah,
Yeah.
but we don't have
Phone
we don't have phone numbers.
We're getting
No,
email.
I said door-to-door, not.
So
There's an
I think
upcoming
it's step
vote
for the
on this. Do you have any
Start getting
questions?
this information and start doing 2 or 3 versions of communication, because if you go to one thing and it's paper, you're gonna miss our entire generation. They're not gonna
Well,
read it.
but right now, we've got 3 Facebook pages, so there's 1. We've got the sign, there's 2. We've got the website, there's 3.
But do any of them,
Well, okay.
But that's what I'm saying, but each one of these requires somebody to attend to them. So we start adding, and now we've got 7 means of communication. Now, per state law, we have to have 1 dedicated means of communication. 1, and that's the website. And it will always be that, no matter what we decide. The website will always be the dedicated, and we are required by law to have that. Okay? However else we can come up with contacting and communicating, that's great. I'm all for it. But I can't do it. I know she can't.
What is our website?
LakeShadows.org.
www.
Yep, lakeshadows.org.
Good.
So if there's other things that y'all can come up with, have at it. But the website, again, we've gotten threatened. You've got to follow property code. We have to have 1 means of communication, and that's the website.
Yeah, we're not talking about changing how we follow certain laws and stuff like that. We're just talking about how to reach people more effectively. And
Well,
so-
Absolutely.
I can tell you, I had the same opinion. And before I came on board, we didn't have videos, we didn't have any Facebook.
Right.
Their notion was, you got a sign, you got a website, if you don't read it, you're a problem.
Yeah.
But I-
So we added
I think we go
Facebook.
above and beyond a little bit of that mentality.
I think.
Yeah.
Well, but
I-
that's what we did. We added Facebook because the previous board said absolutely not. You are not to talk about anything on Facebook. So we went ahead and said, yes, we will do Facebook. I mean, we won't talk about financials or individual property owners, but yeah, we'll do Facebook.
Have you ever looked to see how many people are actually using Facebook? It ain't very many.
What?
Some of them
They're
have like
yard
600.
Huh?
They're at the yard sales.
Yeah, but
No,
a lot
I'm
of
talking
those
about the people
are
that get on Facebook. They're very few.
They're individual property.
Yes, they're
I mean,
very
like
few.
about that.
Are those 3 Facebook pages
Welcome letter to
controlled?
news.
Oh, I can't hear you, I'm sorry.
So we have, are those 3 Facebook page is controlled by the HOA, or
Nope.
were they set up by the
Property
public?
owners.
Yeah, they're set up by public.
So we can't really consolidate them.
That's what she was just
Yeah.
saying. So that's why I tried to do that Civic League page, but like I said, I did that very quickly because there was another one of these meetings that said, well, I don't know what's being said, and I said, okay, I'll set one up. And I threw that together, and we had it for a year.
I wonder if it's worth contacting whoever owns the pages and ask them to
We
change
have.
the name.
And they're not gonna change it.
And I don't know if you can contact Facebook directly and ask and say, this is our page. All of these pages have similar names and like, kind
Or
of
you can
work
put
back
official
and
on it, you can put
You
official.
can block
parentheses.
off one to where nobody can make any
Right.
comments
I mean, and there's
on.
like, 500-600 people in a group, and you're just gonna have somebody post saying, hey, this is our formal page. This is the only place for information only. If you wanna comment, do whatever, do that on this page.
Yeah,
Yeah,
It
you
needs to
could- you
be
could have
only
the
homeowners.
page
Yes,
say,
so you can have no
But
comments.
Lake Shadows.
there was one
Lake
set up that
Shadows
way
Facebook
originally,
page,
but it just got,
ran by HOA
Yeah.
or official or
Yeah.
something like
well,
that.
the one that I made, the Lake Shadow Civic League,
Yeah.
that's why I stopped using it.
Yeah,
And that's only ran by me.
because it's confusing when you move in to know which, you're
Yeah.
like, there's secret pages and you don't know where to get
The
information.
three that are up, there's one homeowner that runs two of them,
Yeah.
and then there's another homeowner that runs the third. So one has both.
So why do these homeowners have authorization?
Cause they just make, you just make the page. You can make any Facebook page.
they're none of them
You
official.
can't do Facebook, so
Yeah.
that's fine.
So the one that I made, like I said, I wanted to make it no where you can't do comments, where it's just literally information over it, but I didn't know how.
Yeah, you
So,
can do that.
Yeah.
well, the page that I have, you can't. I can't turn it off. So I can't. But I'm gonna give you all the access to that page. And if you can't manipulate it,
Shut it down and do a new one.
Get a new one.
but and I would like to get just a Facebook page, and what we can do is whenever we have new homeowners that come in, Darla mails out a welcome package. That Facebook page can go on the welcome package, so that just that one Facebook page is on HOA information. But the other three, I know we've asked before, and every neighborhood has pages where you can sell and you find, and I think they are helpful. Dogs, cats go missing, something happens. I think it's good to have that, but that's not our.
We need one for our.
I want one for our meetings, and I had it, but it can get crazy, so I just stopped posting on it. So I'll get you all the passwords and everything for it, and take a look at it, and see what y'all can come up with.
Do you mind helping with that?
That I think I volunteered last night.
She volunteered last week.
Okay,
I
sorry.
haven't gotten,
Oh, okay.
I haven't gotten in touch with you because of everything with kids getting back to school and then work, but I'm gonna send you everything, and did you get my notice that I lost your card? I sent you a message.
And then I sent you his email.
Yes, no, I know you sent his email, but I didn't know if that's how you wanted me to contact you. But I'll get with you again.
Okay.
Okay, so that's the deal on the ballots for the deed restrictions. That will come up again and again and again. But as of now, it's dead. Okay, new business. We need to add officers and bookkeepers to the bank accounts. As of right now, the only two active names on the bank account is me and Nora. We had voted this in last year. The bookkeeper is not to sign checks at all. She is on the account in case of emergency, but in that case, we need more than just me and her on the account. So in the executive meeting, I let all the new officers know. My personal opinion is officers only on the accounts, because you have a direct title and it's a legal title. So that would ask for Mr. David and Mr. Brown, since Ms. Brown's vice president.
How about Kelly?
Officers only.
She not involved.
They're directors. It's president, vice president, secretary, treasurer are the officers. Because in our deed restrictions and our bylaws, the only named members are those four officers and an ACC director. So I would like to add Frank Brown and David Meadows and Darla to the bank account. All bank accounts, the maintenance account, the CD and the money market, because as of right now, again, me and you are the only ones on the CD and money market. There needs to be more names. We will also, whenever we go to add, there will be fail safes and safety measures put on the accounts that if for any reason somebody walks into a bank to do anything with the account, has to be 2 board members, a minimum of 2 board members. Because the only people that should be walking into the bank is the bookkeeper, and that is to make deposits. But that is a fail-safe for this neighborhood's money. It will be documented if a board member or a bookkeeper walks in to do any withdrawals, which should never happen. But I would like to start putting some fail-safes in because there's never been any. I talked with the banker before, there's never been anything put in place for safety measures.
It was 2 signatures required.
Anything over 500.
No, I'm talking about safety measures at the bank, not to write a check. At the bank, there's never been any safety measures put on the accounts.
Well, even if you say 2 signatures, they're done electronically, they just fly through anyway. Until somebody complains about it.
I don't understand what that means.
So I work in banking, and somebody can have some,
2 people sign.
the bank never sees the checks, they never, those things are flying 100 miles an hour both direction unless somebody calls you and says, y'all didn't require 2 signatures, and then they apologize afterwards.
Okay.
Well, I know.
I did run into that, and that's not what I got from this bank.
Yeah,
And
and
my bank doesn't, I get phone calls every day requiring.
I
about
took a
signatures on
deposit
checks.
in, I was 1 cent off, and they would not, because I'm not on the account, would not even let me initial it, and I had 25 checks on that one, so I had to go back home and redo that deposit for 1 cent.
So,
Well, that's a deposit, but if you write a check, it's all electronic, they never see
Well,
anything.
Do we need a
And it depends on the
Yes.
bank, how big it is, how big a customer, and all
Yeah.
that stuff, but a lot of times they don't.
okay. Can I get a motion to approve, Frank Brown and David Meadows and Darla Lackey to the accounts?
Motion to approve.
Can I get a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Okay, we need to update the management certificate with the courthouse. All that is whenever you get new board members, you fill out a new manager's certificate, has to be reported to the courthouse. What?
I'm listening.
Oh, did I say something wrong? That gets renewed every time we get new board members on. We've got a lot of them this time, so do I get a motion to approve the management certificate?
Motion to approve.
Can I get a second?
Second.
All in favor? All opposed? Okay, social committee events, I didn't know, they had a meeting this Saturday.
Yeah, we had,
Jimmy,
I thought we had a very good meeting. We had 3 people show up, Betty, Kelly, and Pam. And, you know, we talked about what we can do in these times of COVID, you know. And it's really a bummer that we can't really do what we want to do, you know, without violating some kind of ruling or whatever it is that the state has set upon us. But we're gonna do some stuff anyway. I mean, we're all adults here, you know, if we can't stay 6 feet apart or, you know, wear a mask or whatever, I mean, we're gonna use some common sense. So we're gonna go ahead and have some events. We're gonna have a Halloween, like a grab and go up here at the park, here in the parking lot area. We're talking about having a couple of food trucks that do like churros, maybe kettle corn, that kind of thing. You know, they'll wear gloves and all that, the stuff that they need to do. And people can just drive by in their car or the golf cart or whatever and grab whatever and go. We're also going to see about getting the cotton candy that's already in tubs. They're like $1 a piece. You've seen the kids have them, give those to the kids, stuff like that. It's very safe. We talked about doing that. We also talked about doing something this Christmas, we already have the house decorating thing, which was really neat. Last year, where we have first, second, third place for decorating homes. That went over real well. So we're gonna continue that, but we're also gonna have a parade in conjunction with that, where we're gonna get golf carts, ATVs, your vehicle, your truck, whatever, decorate them with lights and kind of have a community parade in conjunction with the thing, and then maybe have a little fellowship afterwards. You know, taco or whatever. We thought that'd be fun. And then, of course, next year, hopefully this crazy virus will be gone and we can do a lot of stuff. We want to do a lot of stuff. We want to do Easter, we want to do 4th of July parade, same idea, but with red, white, and blue, celebrate our nation's birth and stuff like that. So we got a lot of neat ideas. And Betty's kind of the lead for me, and she's doing a great job. She has a storage unit with a bunch of stuff already in it that we can use.
And that's, Jimmy, that's the neighborhood storage unit.
Yeah, she told me that. But anyway, we're encouraged, and we're gonna do some stuff, and we're gonna be safe as we can, and just to let you guys know, we're gonna do everything we can.
I like it.
Keep
Sounds good.
Yeah, sounds great.
Have y'all come up with the budget yet, or y'all still holding off?
No, I did tell them that you said that we got some money that we can spend, and we
Yeah.
absolutely need to do it.
Well, so
Right, so-
where we're at now is since this vote didn't pass, y'all come up with a budget because we, at the beginning of the year, we didn't really have a social committee. So we didn't budget much because we didn't know if we were gonna have anything, and then as the months went, because COVID, so y'all come up with a budget that y'all would like to use.
Okay.
And then we can bring it up at a meeting and vote on it and look at the budget and get some, I think getting something going in this neighborhood is needed.
But I tell you,
We
these
need to
girls,
bring morale up.
these girls are whippersnappers, because they've been texting me all day today, saying they've already talking to food trucks and talking to people. We just had a meeting Saturday, I was like blown away.
Yeah.
Great.
So,
good.
anyway,
Yes.
they're on top of it, so.
Cool. Sounds, thank you, Jimmy, for y'all for doing that.
You bet.
Last thing, pool manager for September to April. We still have, Creek managing the pool. We don't have that pool cover on, so until we get the pool cover on, he needs to be there every day. His contract for the summer pool ends, today. That contract, we had 2 managers over the summer. It was budgeted in January, it's $1,000 for the season. So the first manager did his until he went to college, and then I asked Creed to take over. But now that his contract is up to date, I need somebody to manage that pool every day until we can get the cover on, and I have to go on Facebook and get a group of people together, because it takes 8 or 9 people to get the cover on. Once the cover's put on, then he only needs to come twice a week. We had the previous manager, Lindsay, she was coming on the off season, doing the same thing. Because the pool is gonna require daily attendance for the next month until I can get enough people together to pull that cover on, I'd like to continue to pay him. He is a certified lifeguard. We pay our certified lifeguards $12 an hour. The manager's position is a salary pay. So it doesn't matter how long it takes him. It usually only takes him between 30 minutes to 3 hours, depending on what his responsibilities are for that day. That's why I don't want to pay him hourly. Because he'll go hand vacuum, hand brush, and that'll take him 3.5 hours. The other times, he's there for 30 minutes. It all depends on when he does it. And I don't have to keep track of the time card. I do watch him every day. He sends me a text every single day that he's at the pool, so I know he's there. I know he's doing what he needs to do. And if you don't believe that, take a look at the pool. It's crystal clear. So it's being taken care of. I would like to ask the board that to approve going forward until we can get the pool cover on. And since I don't know how long it's going to take, I would assume it's going to take a couple of weeks. To pay him $50 a week, since he is coming every single day, that's 7 days a week that he's coming. Now, if he doesn't show up, his pay gets docked that day. But $50 for the next, I would probably say 2 to 3 weeks. It is $150, but he's busted his butt this summer. He's a sophomore. He's also playing football, and he is face-to-face to school.
And he'll do it for $50 a week?
I was gonna say,
I think that's a bargain.
This is just,
That is a bargain.
well, this is just for the weeks that we don't have the cover on. As soon as the cover goes off, then I need to come to the board and decide what his pay will be off season.
Right, but I'm saying he'll come every day for $50 a week.
He's coming less right now.
I think it should be.
I think it should be more.
Well, I'm cool with that. Y'all tell me what y'all's suggestion is.
Well, you said he normally gets paid $12 an hour.
Yes.
It comes a half an hour to 3 hours.
Well, yeah, we're not paying him hourly right now. That's what our,
But
okay.
still, you have to figure, so maximum of 3 hours, 21 hours, 21 times 30, 36, you're looking at 21 times what? You have 21, so
Yeah.
you're about $600
A week?
a week.
Oh,
So you're not gonna pay that much, but you don't wanna pay $50 a week either.
Okay.
If you're paying him $12 an hour, and he's coming for 21 hours a week, that's a little bit
No, he's not.
No, he's not coming
what
20
kind
hours.
of half hour?
Well, he said he could be here 3 hours.
Yes,
7 days.
that's on, that, no.
And other
He may
days,
be here for 30 minutes, 4 days a
But
week,
anyway,
and be here
$50.
3 hours, 1 day a week.
What's the
What is the
typical-
average per week?
Yeah, average per week,
Average per week
hours.
is hours or hours?
Hours.
Okay, we're looking at eight,
Okay,
maybe,
times-
maybe
eight
nine,
times 12 is
$96.
96.
so $96. Okay,
$100 a week.
Basically.
board,
Why is the cover on? And
it just hasn't been put back on.
so why don't we just put the cover on right now?
It takes
I was
about,
It,
gonna say-
it takes about 3 hours, 3 to 4 hours to put the cover on, and it takes about 8 to 9 people.
It's really, really, really heavy.
I'm not, it's a school night, I'm sorry, it's a school night, and it's 7:45, I've got
Sure.
2 kids I've gotta get in bed.
Where is
It's a weekend deal.
We could probably do it like this weekend, right? We don't have to wait 3 weeks.
well, you got the neighborhood poker run, and everybody's gonna be, you're probably not gonna get,
Is the cover in the
Mike.
storage or here?
It's here. I didn't haul it in storage.
It's probably a little hard to put on. We can help you take it off. It wasn't too big.
Jimmy, you okay with that?
It's, yeah, it's just the anchors, to go through and get the anchors back out, but you have to do that after the cover's put over the pool.
I'm
So
glad
you
to help
need 8
too.
people to hold the cover up while somebody goes through and pulls the anchors up.
Okay.
I got it.
So that's the reason it takes longer to put it on.